Hello, my comfy chair friends. Linnea here with Linnea's Cozy Crafts. I was tagged by Connie of Just Another Stitch, and she tagged me in the 10 non crafty things about me. Well, she actually is calling it 10 non yarny things, but I say crafty things because I do more than just yarn stuff. So I accepted the challenge yesterday. I'm making the video today. And I'm going to challenge, let me see here. I'm going to get that right now. Or let's see where I put it. Oh, there it is. Lottie of Enjoying the Journey, Cancer as a Lifestyle. Jessica of Jessica Love channel. Karen Pruden of Karen's Let's Stitch and Makeup. 4, Darla of Crafty Yarn Owl with Darla. And Gigi of Be a Giver. And Darla of Craft D Girl. Okay? And if any of those decline, I've got some alternates that I can slide in and ask to join us in this. So, number 1. We live in an RV full time. Now, some of you may know that. Some of you may not. Some of you may know but forgot. Anyway, yes, we live in an RV full time. It is a 29-foot travel trailer with a rear living room, hence the big window here. And we have lived in RVs predominantly the last, well, Jerry says 30 years. We've only been together 30 years this come July, the 27th of July. But I'm going to say 29 years, 28, 29 years that we've lived in RVs predominantly. And that's by choice. We've lived in RV parks, and that's what we're doing now. We have previously boondocked as well as parked on private property with access to the people's kitchen and bathroom by invitation and agreement out in the country. So that was fun too. We choose to live in an RV at this point in time because it's less expensive than renting. Even at what my husband makes, we would have, if we were to rent an apartment, we would have to have roommates. No, thank you. No, thank you. Either one of us. And believe me, Jerry is not an apartment dweller, as in traditional apartments. We have lived in 2 apartments. One of them was in a business park, just not too far from here, actually, about probably 2.5 miles up. Yeah, I think it is about 2.5 miles up from where we live now. And it was a 1-bedroom, beautiful apartment upstairs in one of the pole buildings, and it was great. We loved it. And then before that, we lived in a, lack of a better term, dumpy little 1-bedroom apartment on Linden Birch Bay Road. And we were there for about, I think we lived there 6 months, I think. Anyway, and that was in between trailers. But the reason we started, well, not really the reason we started, but one of the reasons we continued to live in RVs was because we were out on the road trucking the USA and Canada, and we could not see spending at that time like $700+ a month, even for a 1-bedroom, when we were only seeing it like twice a month for a couple of days at a time. So anyway, so there's that. All right, number 2. I am the youngest in my family. I am the baby. I was a surprise. I snuck up on them. And my parents were older. My mom was 40 and a half when she had me, and my dad was 35 and a half. And I'm grateful for that because I had access to a lot of great wisdom due to their life experiences and the times that they lived in. growing up and as young married adults. So, and they also instilled an excellent work ethic in me, which employers have appreciated. Okay. Three, I once had hair to the middle of my back and I had it cut to the bottom of my shoulder blades. 2 weeks later, I cut it to shoulder length with long layers in it. Then, and I was in cosmetology school, trying to learn to be a cosmetologist. Not the thing for me. Makeup, yes, but hair, no. Anyway, I went to class one day and was asked by the instructor if I wanted to be the haircut model for that day. And I said, sure. Much to my then boyfriend, now my hubby, chagrin, I came home with a cute but extremely short, spunky hairstyle. I loved it, actually. I didn't love his reaction to it, but I kept it that style for 6 months until haircuts every 2 weeks were killing me financially. So I began growing it out. And it took me a year to grow it back to shoulder length again. And I've had things in between then and now, and I'm growing it out again, and it's doing pretty good. And I'm having a lot of fun with different boho type style hair things. All right. Oh, and that brings me to number four. I like my hair now, both in style and my natural color. I began having gray hairs when I was 11 years of age. And I colored my hair from the age of 22 up until I think it was 3 years ago that I stopped coloring it. No, it's longer ago than that. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it is 3 years ago. Anyway, and I decided to no longer have any chemical processing done to it. So, number five, I have lived in small towns and small cities most of my life. I've lived in Washington State my entire life with three exceptions. One, I went to college in Iowa when I was 20, and I moved to Texas and Oklahoma for 3 months each when I was married to my former husband with a toddler, and that's all I could take of it. The heat, the humidity, the tornadoes. Yeah, I was not happy. So I packed up our stuff and I took off back for home, and he followed me later on. And there's more to that story, but I'm leaving it right there for now. I may share my journey at some other time to help others. But anyway, I consider myself a Washingtonian because I never did change residence, as in officially. Okay, and then six. Jerry and I once had property in central Minnesota while we were trucking. We would spend half the time at our home base in Washington, and then the next month we would spend the home time at the property in Minnesota. We did that for 2-ish years and decided to sell the property in Minnesota and sold it to some Californians. Sorry, not sorry. And yeah, and then I don't even know. I think we paid bills and stuff with the money and stuff. So anyway, and had some in reserve. Anyway, that's another nifty fact, I guess. And then seven, we had an opportunity to purchase a house in Guadalupe, New Mexico. It was built right into the side of a mountain, and it was an amazing price, and we almost did it. It was so cool, but we decided to not, for the same reason that we sold the property in Minnesota. So there we go, because we didn't want to split our time between two homes again. All right, eight brings me to our trucking days. Some of you may remember or know that Jerry and I were long haul team truck drivers for 20 plus years. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And it's like any other day in a job, you have days where they are just pure hell. And that's the only word for it, seriously. It's either the load is something or a customer is something, and you have to maintain professionalism. You can't just go off on a customer because they're yelling and cussing at you. You might want to, but you don't. At least not if you don't want to get called in about it. But there were way more good times. Way more good times than there were bad times. Hang on a minute. He's calling in. Okay, here we go. Got that taken care of. All right, so we team drove across the USA and Canada for 20 plus years. We've been to every province except for Manitoba, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland Labrador. And we've been to every state in the United States with the exception of Hawaii, of course, because they've yet to build a bridge or a tunnel going there. Ha ha ha. That's my husband's funny joke, and he delivers it way better than I do. And we have been to Alaska also, professionally. I would love to go to Alaska non-professionally. All right. And yes, we did ice road trucking. All right. So there we go. And it's not, I love the show, Ice Road Truckers. A lot of it is dramatization. Okay, there we go. There's actually worse driving in the United States, in the plains and certain mountain ranges. So there we go, in the winter. All right. So we almost got to go to Newfoundland, but the load got canceled, and we were both highly disappointed by that. And they said they would try to get us there sometime, but it never happened. Okay, so we've seen a lot of great and wonderful things, experienced meeting wonderful people, and driven the back roads of the states and had dinner many a time with locals in their homes. There were several small lumber mills and logging operations that we would take orange peel grapplers to, and 9 times out of 10, it was, of course, during the dinner hour when we would get there and we were invited in to sit down with them and their family and enjoy a meal. You do not say no. You don't say, oh, we just ate a little bit ago. No, learn that the hard way. You come in, you sit through the dinner, and then you get dessert, which was pretty cool. All right. So, especially in West Virginia, Virginia, and Texas. Yeah, you don't say those things at all. You're always hungry. Always leave room. One of my favorite experiences trucking was when we got to see the USS Constitution sail on her 200th birthday in the Boston Harbor. And I used up a roll and a half of film, and I would have used more, but I ran out. And we've also gotten to play at amusement parks around the United States, such as Lake Compounce in Connecticut. That is North America's oldest amusement park with the original carousel. That was awesome. I loved it. Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay, Disneyland in California, Universal Studios in Orlando, and SeaWorld in Orlando. And we've also done the Everglades. And what else have we done? Oh, we got to stay one time for two nights and 3 days at a game preserve in Florida. It was one of our dispatcher's friends' place. And we were actually loading nearby it was supposed to be the next day, but it turned into 2.5 anyway. And we got to stay there on his property and experience his natural game preserve, which was pretty cool. Okay, we've also met some pretty incredible people, famous and not so famous. We delivered a well-known celebrity's custom-built boat to him. We met Dan Aykroyd and James, a.k.a. Jim Belushi, and they were, at that time, their band was called Have Love Will Travel. We met them actually by chance at the Flying J in Lebec or Fraser Park, California, at the top of the Grapevine. We got to talking with them, and they invited us special to their concert the next day at the Flying J in the parking lot. We said we'd do our best. I called our boss and told him what was going on and what we would like to do if at all possible. And he said, well, if you get loaded by 11, you should be able to make it. And yeah, if you want, just, stay there. It's an easy load. And I'm like, cool. So everything worked just right. We made it there, and I was so excited. It was so much fun. And then we visited with them afterwards. So it was fun. And what else have we been able to do that was fun? Just so many wonderful experiences. Trucking is a lifestyle. It is not just a job, and it's not for everyone. I loved it. I really did. The only reason we're not doing it anymore brings me to number 9. I was my husband's caregiver, advocate, etc. for over 2 years full time after he sustained a traumatic brain injury on the job. It was very scary. Very scary. I would not wish my experience or his experience on anyone. I'm still, TBIs and head injuries are a real hot spot for me. I really have to watch just blah when somebody makes a bad joke about it or something. It's not a laughing matter, and it's nothing to take lightly. So anyway, I'm stronger and more patient because of the experience and our new normal. And I've learned people mean well, even when they don't word things quite right. And I do my best to give them the benefit of the doubt rather than pounce in defense of my husband. Because people can say some stupid things when they mean well, and it takes a little bit to learn that. So anyway, nobody really means any real harm. I'm certain of that. Unless they're just pure evil, which I don't know too many people that are just pure evil. Thankfully. So, and then number 10, I enjoy planting and tending a flower garden as well as a vegetable garden, but I especially love the flower gardens and herbs. We had gardens nearly everywhere we lived, except for the last 2 places. I miss working in the dirt, pulling the weeds, watering, and harvesting our homegrown food. One day we'll have a place again, Lord willing, that we can do that. So that's it. Now for the people I'm tagging in this fun event as a reminder, because I already announced them. So Lottie of Enjoying the Journey, Cancer is a Lifestyle. Jessica Love of Jessica Loves. Karen Pruden of Karen's Let's Stitch and Makeup. Darla of Crafty Yarn Owl with Darla. Gigi of Be a Giver. And Darla of Craft D Girl. All right. So let me know in the comments what you've thought about it. And if you want to play along, of course, let me know. You're more than welcome. And that's it for now. Remember to be blessed. Be kind. Know that I love you. See you soon. Ciao for now. Mwah.